Well, here's one of those videos that I have to say I do these because of this reason. Webbot hit. That's why I study and read these Webbot summaries to you. Because when there's a hit, I like to come out here and say, hey, there's a hit. So a while back, and someone emailed me this anyways, said, hey, you know, didn't one of the Webbot reports recently talk about old people writing about pensions and stuff? I thought, why, yes it did. Matter of fact, I think a few of these reports had mentioned writing and pensions in the same report, kind of tied together, that kind of thing. So I said, let me go back a few reports, just a few, and we'll see what I can find. I searched for the word riot, and then I searched for the word pension, and then read around there to see what I want to grab. Now, there were cases where I found some of those words, but it didn't fit this in that particular part of the Webbot report, so I'm not going to bring that over and say, oh, Webbot hit. It doesn't count. However, this stuff does. So I've got the September, something from the September report, August report, July report, May report, and then a video that shows you, hey, this is actually happening right now. September report. I'm just going to read you what it said, okay? Because this, first of all, maybe I should do this a little backwards. I saw this video like 2 days ago. It wasn't on Facebook, but someone had posted on Facebook now, and that's the link that I've got that I read on this website. So I'm going to paste the Facebook link to you. It's titled, "These Pensioners Are Rocking a Police Bus and Then Fighting with the Police." And I'm noticing as I watch the video, boy, there sure are a lot of older, white-haired, if you will, pensioners out there who are pissed off, fighting with the police and rocking the police bus, trying to tip it over. This is in Greece, by the way. Just when I thought things in Greece kind of quieted down, they had given up. You know, they just accepted their fate. The powers that be gave them. We're stealing your pension. We're stealing everything from you, cutting out your jobs, and piss off. Just when I thought they weren't going to do anything, I see this video, and I'm like, wow, good for them. Now, again, I'm not going to play the video because I don't have time for YouTube and other people. Oh, copyright claim. No, not dealing with it. So you can click the link that I'm going to provide you if you really want to watch this video, and I suggest you do. It's not that long. Interesting to see, nonetheless. Old people trying to tip over a bus. Pensioners. That's fantastic. So, let's go to the Webbot September report. I'm talking all this year, 2016 reports. As may be expected, the uncertainty factor is going to create some major freakout and rage at the banks time for lots and lots of people. These sets are cross-linked over to the riots at government offices by retirees sets from previous Webbot reports. So this was one of those ones that it kind of fits the bill, but not perfectly. But I'm just adding it because there's just that one couple of sentences there. These sets are cross-linked over to the riots at government offices by retirees. Well, they're retirees in this video. They're not necessarily at a government office, but they are at a government bus that busted the police and are trying to tip it over. So let's, I'm just going to include that, but just, let's continue and see what else we got. August Webbot report. Many of the new sets within the Europe Pop group are all containing support for breakup of the EU. The breakup language all contains very high emotive tones values, so we are looking at very robust emotional trends that will be dominating for decades, probably for generations. These data sets are bringing up the idea of mostly a total collapse of the EU system as such. Keeping in mind, anyone paying attention to Deutsche Bank today? They're still in big trouble. There was no bailout. There was no agreement made, as I said. And did anybody, by chance, see. I'm gonna shut this thing off. The gold and silver prices get hammered today. I got another video to talk about that. I think I might see a pattern here, and it's called "Smash Before Big Things Come," because the price is going to definitely rise. So we need to smash the living crap out of the price first. That's my next video. These data sets are bringing up the idea of mostly a total collapse of the EU system as such. The data would have the EU as an experiment really start breaking up in early fall of this year, right? Winter, spring, summer, and then fall. We're entering fall. So data would have the EU as an experiment really start breaking up in the early fall of this year as pensions for the EU bureaucracy are indicated to take a huge hit that forces a radical reappraisal by all concerned within the EU bosses class. These pension shocks or horror are themselves supported by bad money failing new sets that are showing that the EU begins a rapid fall as both the Europe pop and USA pop come under full assault at the mental energy level by the developing circumstances of late July and early August. I think for the USA, we can really look at the political crisis happening right now as far as mental energy goes. The data sets are forecasting that the gambling experience of the millions of private traders across the planet is going to be so violent an expression as to prompt actual heart attacks. Stated another way, the sudden rush into the crisis period, collapsing fiscal structures, causes day traders and pensioners to be both wiped out as well as shocked nearly to death. I think these pensioners you're about to see in the video are pretty shocked, but again, I'm just grabbing things that I think are relevant out of several of these reports, all pointing to the same thing. July report. Cross-link to the market entity, which is not just for USA Pop. See highlighted below, and that's my own note. Okay, so what I'm about to talk about is a section in the July report where he's talking about the USA Pop entity, but he specifically says this what I'm talking about here is interconnected, both directly held and via crosslinks to the bigger picture market entity. And the market entity isn't just for the US, that's global. So that's why I included it here, because this is an interesting part. So part of the new growth in the credit freeze sets includes retirement grab, in which the data are showing several announcements by officialdom that to secure and safeguard the retirement accounts of the USA Pop, these must be converted to something that the government can protect. These sets, as well as the subsequent sets for near riots and officialdom offices overturned/trashed. Overturned. Greece people, retirees, pensioners, pissed off, trying to overturn a police bus. Okay, again, let's just continue. These sets, as well as the subsequent sets for near riots and officialdom offices overturned/trashed, and federal retirement agencies' offices destroyed, as in trucks driven through walls, that sort of thing, or how about trucks being flipped over, are all interconnected, both directly held and via crosslinks over to the market's entity for a breakout of the precious metals as off-grid money. These sets are part of USA Pop and markets entity sets that go to the idea of first lines in daily queuing for silver and gold across the USA, and then turns vicious as the supplies become exhausted in mere days. So I'm here to tell you right now, as we just saw, silver down $1 plus, but a few pennies down today, and gold down like, what was it, $42? You know how many people are going to go out there and buy a bunch of precious metals now? That's a dip. That's a dip, my friends. A nice size dip. And again, I got another video after this to talk about that. At this point in the movement of model space, the data sets are showing that a number of breakdowns and government failures start to pile up on the lousy economy that then once again push the population into precious metals. Another part of that same report, across much of the globe, the majority within Northern Hemisphere, the financial resources that had fed the political diversity of the past few decades is posited to dry up in such a fashion that all of society that is social system dependent, find themselves selves coming together, as in bonding, against a common enemy. The data sets are forecasting that the bonding of the distressed students and the depleted pensioners and the failing labor unions is going to create a situation within the ruling elite in the financial system in which those statists and their backers will be making a very large mistake or mistakes that will involve both bad decisions and bad behavior run amok. In these instances, the statists will find that there is no help for the cutting situation. May report, this is the last one I did, May report, as the global debt bubble pops and the credit system freezes up, the mostly Western global population will react badly in a short period of time. I think these old timers are reacting badly. The data shows that the day, that is the actual day that the banks shut, there will be a 24 hours of riots sweeping around the planet and reported by both alternative and propaganda media. Note that this will not be the only global day of popular action. There are detail sets for retirees who have been shafted by the collapse/disappearance of their private pension plans, heading to government welfare offices and justice offices, only to become part of vast crowds seeking their living. Images of old people being trampled as well as saved come up in the data. There are instances of young mothers and children being crushed in the stampedes as the doors open or as soldiers/police move in. There are sets of blood running downstairs being viewed on video from dozens of states as the social order glue of the dollar fails. So, after everything I just read you out of several, or what is it, May, July, August, 4 reports all this year. Now I'm going to have that link posted in the description box of this video where you can click on it. And it's a Facebook link, but it's strictly to a Facebook video. As much as I hate to use Facebook. But that's a good source for this. So I'm going to post it. You can look at it and see if some of what I just described to you is happening in this video. I think you're going to say, yeah, actually it is. Matter of fact, I think we have a webbot hit here is what you're probably going to say. And I think I would agree. And I'm going to go so far as say, baby, you just ain't seen nothing yet. Here's something that you're never going to forget, because we're all going to live through it. This is the beginning of this kind of a thing. Old-timers, pensioners, rioting, fighting with the police. I just want my money. I worked all my life. I had this nest egg, and now you took it from me. And now I'm freaking pissed. Well, old-timers, I hate to say this, you should have been taking some of that pension money and putting it into precious metals. With this dollar slam today, boy, is it a nice day to get some of that in there. Because what goes down, or what goes up must come down? What is held down artificially must go up. And it will happen. It will happen. Not yet. The club is in the process of a major takedown in precious metals. My next video, we're going to discuss that. Got a couple ideas on that one. Take care.